Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another exciting round of Formula One action. Today we are here for round two, the Australian Grand Prix from Down Under in Melbourne, Australia. The track is in Albert Park. Always a stunner here. I don't know if the track has been modified in this game as it has in real life. They have widened a couple of the turns and extended one of the back straights, so I guess we'll see shortly. I believe it is the same as the previous games. Getting a couple cars out on track already for qualifying. Everyone is excited to get going. Just getting this figured out here, sorry. It's hard to tell. Turn 1 did look slightly wider, but I don't believe that they have changed the track. No, they still have that chicane at the start of the second sector there. Right where Fox is headed through right now. They essentially have eliminated that, if I recall correctly, in the real track, so this should be interesting. Once we actually get to go back and race in Australia. Unfortunately, COVID has completely ruined us seeing an Australian Grand Prix, but we will be back eventually. It looks like we got a Ferrari coming around. That is Guitar Maniac. He will be the first. Never mind. Owen Wilson and Stewart were the first ones to begin their hot laps. And it looks like Owen Wilson bailed out. Stewart is still going strong. Alright, Stewart coming around. The fast left-hander coming into this quick chicane is always a tricky section. Cars do tend to lose traction over that second portion of the chicane, the right-hander. But it looks like Stewart nailed it in the Williams. Runs a little wide, but doesn't invalidate. Coming around the final turn onto the pit straight. Stewart 156 and the Williams will set the first time of the session with a 1:23.572. That is the time to beat right now. Looks like Flavius doing a little 50-50 grind here on the curb out of turn 3. Owen Wilson with a 1:38.069, so obviously he bailed out. Guitar Maniac in the Ferrari, the 1:23.368. Throw another shrimp on the bobby. That is the time to beat right now. Unholy Red Eye with a 1:24.3, about 8/10 shy of second place. Smith Pell in the Red Bull, 1:23.405, about 400ths shy of pole position, so the pace is there right now. A ton of cars on track here. VSR Clark, 1:30.296. He'll definitely be looking to improve there as he continues on to another hot lap here. Flying through turn 1 and 2. Labatt's in the Mercedes, 1:24.453. Currently P5, provisional P5. Hemi with a 1:22.338. Almost an entire second. Actually, just over a second quicker than Guitar Maniac. Hemi showing some serious pace in the AlphaTauri. SZS Smith going 5th fastest overall with a 1:23.828 in the Alfa Romeo. His teammate VSR Clark sitting in 8th at the moment. You can see a Ferrari coming across the line, I believe. That is Guitar Maniac. 4/10 up on his time from the previous lap, but not enough to take back pole position from Hemi. Smith Pell on an in-lap. SZS Smith also on an in-lap. I can see an Alpine, I believe, behind him. Alright, that is Hash. He's about to start his first hot lap, followed closely by Fox on the medium tire. Fox will go from P18 to P10. Silent Banshee was right behind him and stole 9th away from him. Silent Banshee going provisional P9 with a 125.588 on the mediums. There's a good mix of mediums and softs in the standings at the moment. Oh, Flavius and Williams getting a little comfy there. Owen Wilson, I don't know if he was on a hot lap or not. Getting a little close. Flavius going 126.326 in the McLaren. Owen Wilson diving into the pits. Looks like Guitar Maniac must be on. He's on an in-lap at the moment. He'll head back into the pits and get some fresh tires and fuel from his pit crew. Hash 121.894 in the Alpine, a flyer of a lap, almost 5/10 quicker than Hemi. Niru bumping himself up in a provisional P4 with a 123.152. You can see a McLaren coming around. That'll be Mo Powa. Channeling his inner Aussie, going 9th fastest with a 124.256. His teammate Flavius coming around. He'll dive into the pits. LFR Psycho on an outlap. Can see a Williams on that 3rd sector as well. That is Stewart. He's on a hot lap. Sorry, an outlap. You can see a couple drivers. It's hard to tell. Here you can see Owen Wilson sporting that bright pink helmet in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month here. A shout out to everyone in the fight or has been in the fight, and everyone in between affected by that horrible disease. These drivers fighting for that today. Alright, Owen Wilson just coming through into the 3rd sector, ready to start another hot lap here. Smith Pell is on a out lap. Looks like the pair of Aston Martins came out one behind another, looking to maybe get a tow off of each other. LFR Psycho, I believe, just set a... Oh, and he lost it. In that fast chicane. Definitely a spot to watch here today, folks. That is, it gets very, very many racers every single Grand Prix. It's a very tricky portion of track to take here. I'll quickly get up here with the Alfa Romeos as they get through there cleanly, but definitely interesting. There's definitely going to be some accidents there during the race. I can almost guarantee it. Fox and Labatt's both on outlaps for the Silver Arrows. Smith Pell is on a hot lap as he nails that quick section here. Trying to get a toe off the Mercedes ahead. Little Hamilton Verstappen moment here. I think that worked pretty well for Smith Pell. We'll hop on board with the Red Bull as he comes across the line. Gets a good exit onto the pit straight. Coming across the line. He'll go 9/10ths quicker than his previous lap. 1:22.469. Good enough for provisional P3. Owen Wilson comes across the line, bumps himself up into P5. In the Williams Racing on the mediums. More and more drivers swapping out to those soft tires, trying to improve their starting position versus their tire strategy. Only a few cars left to set laps here as the Aston Martins come across the line. P13 for Detail and his teammate Jay Kelly. Giving a show to the fans, moving up into P16 in the Aston Martin. Silent Banshee improving his position up to P12 with a 1:24.129. Couple of Alfa Romeos coming across the line. VSR Clark will go up into P8 with a 1:23.453. SNS Smith will improve his time, but not his position. He's currently sitting P10. Good starting position so far for the Alfa Romeos. You can see a Williams coming across the final turn here. That is Owen Wilson diving into the pits. We got Fox coming around the final corner onto the pit straight. We'll hop on board with him. He's 1.3 seconds up on his time. Currently P17 to P15 with a 1:25.217. Good improvement on his time. Labatt's coming across the line. P13 to P9 with a 1:23.572. AlphaTauri, oh, had some cars off track there by the looks of it. Don't want to sit there too long, otherwise the game will disqualify you. Unfortunately, you don't want that. Hash coming around. And he'll improve almost 2/10ths of the 1:21.699, just pushing that pole position further and further away from the AlphaTauri of Hemi. We do have a weather report from the Red Bull pit wall. It appears to be all sunshine here for the Australian Grand Prix. Generally a mix of sun and rain, usually over the course of the weekend, being right on the coast, but looks like it's going to be nice and hot for these drivers today. Alright, Labatt's diving into the pits in the Mercedes. You can see an Alpine right behind him. That is Nero, unfortunately invalidated, but he'll dive into the pits as well. His teammate, Hash, probably on an in-lap. He was burning up tires here in qualifying. He is Guitar Maniac right behind him, about to start his next hot lap here. Only 3.5 minutes remaining in qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix. Round 2. Third season here for the East Coast Formula One Championship. Let me see if I can't get some standings pulled up here. Currently leading the Drivers' Championship here for the Premier League is Hemi in the AlphaTauri, followed by Owen Wilson and Hash. Constructors lead is AlphaTauri right now, followed by Alpine and Williams. So some guys will be looking to change that up a little bit as the session goes on. Stewart diving into the pits. We got Hemi. Never mind, Unholy Red Eye. Just about to start his next hot lap. 2.5 minutes remaining as McLaren coming out of the pits, ready to start his final hot lap. That'll be Mo Powa, I believe. No, he's actually just about to start his next hot lap here. So he'll have one more shot at it. Guitar Maniac coming across the line. 1/10 up on his time. P5 to P4 for Guitar Maniac and Ferrari. Got an Aston Martin coming around the final corner. That'll be... I'm not sure who that is. That'll be Detail starting his final hot lap of the session, I believe. Jake Kelly pulled off the side of the track. As you can see a Red Bull coming around, that's LFR Psycho. Stick on board the Aston Martin to Detail here, follow him for a lap. Sporting that nice pink helmet. Nice and clean into the second sector, this long left-hander. It's a very interesting part of the track. Good exit there. Gets that wing open for DRS. Coming through the final corners here. Owen Wilson steals pole away from Hash with a 1:21.504. Going 0.2 quicker than the Alpine. Detail P16 up into P13. A great bump for Aston Martin. They'll be happy with that, starting P13. And every single driver except for the Aston Martin and Jay Kelly and Hemi on the softs to start the race here. Quite a few corners named after some famous drivers and people in the sport. Turn 1 named after Brabham, and 2 Jones. Turns 9 and 10 after Jim Clark. 13 Ascari. 14th Jackie Stewart. 15th Alain Prost. So some notable names here throughout the track. Alright, the final few drivers coming across the line for their final attempts at a hot lap here. S.S. Smith has got a good time going here. Oh, he couldn't quite get there. I thought the line was closer, moving himself up into P11. It's the Aston Martins. Detail dives into the pits. Jake Kelly's done. LFR Psycho, unfortunately. I'm not sure what he's up to. And I think that should do it. All of the drivers have finished their qualifying. Everyone pulling into the pits, getting into their garages. few cars left out on track there, but this will do it for qualifying. Unfortunately, Hightower not making it. Owen Wilson going fastest here, qualifying for pole position, getting that nice Pirelli tire pole award. 121.413 is the fastest time, followed by Hash. He'll join him on the first row. Qatar Maniac goes third fastest. Hemi P4 in the AlphaTauri on the mediums with the 122.338. Mo Powa P5. Sixth goes to Smith Pell. Seventh is Unholy Red Eye in the AlphaTauri. P8 is Stewart. P9 Labatt's and Niru rounding out the top 10. S Smith will go 11th. P12 to VSR Clark. 13th Detail. 14th Silent Banshee. 15th LFR Psycho in the Red Bull. Jay Kelly will go 16th overall. 17th is Fox. 18th Flavius, and rounding out the grid is the Haas of Hightower. So that is your starting grid for the Australian Grand Prix. Round 2 here, this third season of the East Coast Formula 1 Championship. Coming to you from down under in Melbourne. Never really could nail a fantastic Australian accent, so a couple horrible attempts there for some humor. As the drivers sit in their garage getting ready, getting their final setups, getting some strategies together with their engineers. Does look like a nice sunny day. That should make sure that the track temperatures stay up and the tires remain nice and sticky. We should see early on what the predicted pit stop strategies are. Alright, we're just waiting for everyone to get everything figured out here. I'm not quite sure what the issue is. I think we're having a bit of technical difficulties. Oh, here it goes. There's the countdown. Alright, predicted pit stop strategies brought to you by Amazon Web Services, the one-stop soft to hards, or the two-stop with a double soft medium. Owen Wilson leading the pack away. Getting those tires nice and warmed up. So Hemi will have had to start the race on the mediums because that was the quickest time that he qualified on. So starting P4 isn't bad. And then the bottom 9 drivers were able to select what tire they wanted to start on. S.S. Smith, Silent Banshee, LFR Psycho, Jay Kelly, and Flavius all opting for the mediums, while VSR Clark, Detail, and Fox running the softs. Hightower looking to extend that first stint in the Haas, going for the hards. May not be a bad idea. I mean, it always is quite warm in Australia, so hopefully the track temp is up and it makes those hards fall into their grip window quite quick. Alright, Owen Wilson coming around the final corner, as is the rest of the grid. Getting to their final resting places before lights out. Alright, the cars are getting set, and there we go. We're ready for lights out. 1, 2, 3 red lights, 4 and 5. And it's lights out and away we go. We're racing here in Australia. Owen Wilson getting a good jump, trying to block that inside lane. Cars going off track all over the place. A few 2 wides. Oh, and a ton of cars off track here. Both Alfa Romeos. The Alpine backs right into one of the Alfa Romeos. Nero totally burning up his tires there. Guitar Maniac getting a little loose there, but manages to get through. Owen Wilson, Hash, and Guitar Maniac getting a good jump out ahead of the grid here. Mo Pow up into P5. Looks like everybody... Oh no, the Smith Pell missing his entire front wing. Obviously having some grief in turn 1. Getting caught pretty quick here from the cars behind. Unholy Red Eye missing an end plate on the front of his car. Looks like Nero is okay. Hash getting by Guitar Maniac, as did Hemi. Oh no, Guitar Maniac's also missing an end plate, so there's going to be some early pit stops here. You can see the Ferrari diving into the pits. Oh, and a car stopped right on the... Oh, I don't know what is happening there. There was a car stopped right on the pit straight. A few cars coming into the pits now. A little bit of pandemonium here in the opening laps. Fox getting by Detail. Oh, we got a spun Aston Martin. That is Detail. I don't know, I maybe missed it there. There might have been some contact between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. But Detail gets her spun around and gets headed back up track. Hemi getting by Hightower, going around the outside. The AlphaTauri getting by the Haas. The Haas making it from P19 to P9 so far. LFR Psycho off track in the Red Bull. Having some issues there. VSR Clark in the hunt for P11 from Flavius in the McLaren. He's closing that gap pretty quickly here. Owen Wilson setting the current fastest lap of the 125. Never mind, Mo Powell, the 125, 560. Oh, DRS is enabled. VSR Clark will get ahead of Flavius. So that will give Flavius DRS down into turn 2. So Flavius will go on a run here trying to catch him. Alright, so he stays in P11. Looks like Hemi closing in on Silent Banshee here, so he'll get DRS in this next sector. Gets a really good exit on him, so he'll catch the Haas with no issues at all. Hemi moving up into P6. Jay Kelly closing into the back of Silent Banshee as well. Oh no, there's your first victim of the day. Flavius in the McLaren on the exit of turn 11. Majorly unfortunate. It's such a difficult part of the track. Labatt's getting by Stewart. Oh no, and Stewart lost it in the Williams coming out of turn 2. And he'll lose a bunch of positions, unfortunately. It looks like the Williams is okay. There might be minor damage, but nothing too severe. SZS Smith and Detail real close here. Uh-oh, Flavius having some grief. I believe that was some sort of glitch. Oh yeah, having some serious glitches here. His car bouncing in and out of the pit lane, unfortunately. Looks like he should be okay now. Jay Kelly with the help of DRS getting around Silent Banshee. The pair of Haas's in P7 and 8. Oh, and a battle going down into turn 13. VSR Clark will take the position back from Fox. Fox under challenge here by a Williams, sorry, of Stewart. Stewart with the help of DRS. Fox also has DRS, but the Williams will, maybe not get by him. And he'll edge Fox out for P10. Great battle there going down into turn 1. Detail and SZS Smith both on the DRS, but Detail will get the better end of that battle. Maybe we'll stick on board here with the pair of Haas's as they come through the long left-hander into turn 11. Oh no! And Hightower loses it, but seemingly undamaged. The Haas narrowly escapes. SZS Smith with the first penalty of the day. 3 seconds for exceeding track limits. Hightower getting lucky. He may not get yelled at by Gunther just yet. But he will dive into the pit, so maybe he does have some slight damage. The hards wouldn't be worn out just yet. few drivers in the pits. Oh no! I don't know if there was contact there. Detail unfortunately getting spun around going down into turn 3. He'll take the runoff. Detail looking to make up a position. Or sorry, Guitar Maniac looking to make up a position on Detail there. Alright. Oh, Hash right on the gearbox of Owen Wilson down into turn 1. As they exit into the next DRS section, we'll hop on board the Alpine as he goes around the outside. Owen Wilson not giving it up though. Oh! The Williams almost loses it. There might have been contact between the two there. Hash will come out ahead on that battle for now. Lap 7 here of 29 in the Australian Grand Prix. Nothing short of fantastic racing so far. S.N.S. Smith only 3/10 back of Fox. He gets DRS, so that'll help him down into turn 3. But he won't quite get close enough. Bit of a lockup there from the Mercedes. Looks like we got a spun Williams coming up. That is Stewart. Drive-through penalty for a severe collision with LFR Psycho. LFR is missing the entire front wing. Oh, and his tires are overheated. He's having a hard time keeping it on track. He'll have to limp that back. Fox, a few guys taking advantage of the VSC, hopping into the pits. Owen Wilson and Hemi, as is VSR Clark. Fox is looking to pounce here on Psycho as the track goes green again. They got the debris cleaned up off the between turns 5 and 6. LFR Psycho will hop into the pits, no doubt. Get that Red Bull pit crew changing the front wing and some new tires. We'll stick on board with them and watch them work their magic. Going for a set of hards here. Looking probably for that one-stop strategy. We are green again. DRS is enabled. And he's released from his pit box. S.N.S. Smith getting nice and close to the back of Fox there. Going a little wide. Trying to stay nice and close to that silver arrow. Oh no! Silent Banshee losing it. Total wreckage there. But it was right after the VSC restart, so I don't imagine we're going to get a safety car. See if we can get another good look at it here. As Smith goes around the inside of Fox. And he'll take P7. That is one Haas, unfortunately, out of the race. Is that... Oh no, Hightower. I thought that was still the car of Silent Banshee, but Hightower lost it right in the same place as his teammate. The Haas is having a difficult time through that high-speed section. Fortunately, Hightower came out okay. Fox receiving a 3-second time penalty from the stewards for exceeding track limits. Hightower going a little deep there in turn 1. Guitar Maniac only 3/10 back of Fox here. He'll be looking to make a move. Oh, maybe not. Fox might edge him out of the DRS zone here. He does. Fox manages to stay ahead of the Ferrari at Guitar Maniac. So if he can keep that gap up, he will keep the Ferrari at bay for now. As it must have spoke too soon, Guitar Maniac gaining about 6/10 in a couple corners there, so he'll have a DRS run down the pit straight here. We'll hop on board the Ferrari as he makes a lunge at the Fox. Down into turn 1. Always a tricky one. Both drivers giving good space here. What a battle. He'll get DRS again, and he'll take P7 from Fox. Cruise on up here. If the timing board is correct, it looks like Hash is currently in the lead with a 7-second gap to second place, followed by Labatt's and Owen Wilson. We've got some technical difficulties with the timing board at the moment. Oh no, Jake Kelly losing it in turn 15 here. Missing an end plate, so he will dive back into the pits. I can't see proper gaps, unfortunately, at the moment. Having more grief with that pit lane. No idea what is happening. Jake Kelly back and forth in the pit lane, in and out. Super weird here. Looks like maybe it's starting to sort itself out now, potentially. Stewart with a 5-second penalty for ignoring blue flags. Oh, and Stewart lost it. The Williams is out of the race. I believe... No yellow flags, no safety car. Hash having the same grief. Labatt's the same thing. Some serious technical difficulties happening here. I don't know if this is me finally calling a safety car. The safety car is out on track now. Waiting for the leader, I believe. Labatt's will be the next to come up on it. I unfortunately can't tell who is or isn't leading this race. Alright, so Labatt's will blow past the Aston Martin. As will Guitar Maniac. Owen Wilson in the pits for a brand new set of tires. That was Jake Kelly, actually. Owen Wilson will head by Mo Powa. Unfortunately, lapping Jay Kelly, I believe. So it appears Owen Wilson is leading the race at the moment. The timing board looks to be slowly but surely sorting itself out. Alright, Owen Wilson coming up on the safety car. And Mr. Maylander peels away in the Aston Martin. Owen Wilson currently leading the race. Just shy of the halfway mark. Followed by Hash in second and Hemi in P3. Unfortunately, Jay Kelly caught in the middle. And the game not recognizing that he should be able to unlap himself. As far as I know, I could be incorrect. Hash getting a little aggressive here. Even though the game is probably going to tell him to hand the position back. Maybe not. Hard to say. So we'll see. Let's check out some tires here. So we got a few drivers pitting for some fresh tires. Mo Powa, Guitar Maniac, Jay Kelly and Flavius. A few guys on one lap old tires, so they're fairly fresh. A mix of mediums and hards throughout the grid. A total of about 16 laps to go in the Australian Grand Prix. Owen Wilson getting a little bit of heat into those tires. Gonna cruise back through the grid. The grid isn't quite caught up yet, as you can see on the mini map there. It is still pretty spread out. So as far as I know, the safety car won't come in until the grid is backed up. So we could have another lap or two under the safety car. As the Red Bull comes through turn 9 and 10. A few other drivers getting through there as well. Looks like we should have one more lap. Owen Wilson trying to keep the heat into those hards. It is a daunting task to do. They don't tend to keep the heat very well. Hopefully the hot Australian sun is doing some help for him. Alright, the grid is almost backed up again. Looks like Jay Kelly opting for a fresh set of mediums to get him through to the end of the Grand Prix. I don't know. Looks like Unholy Red Eye is on the oldest mediums right now at 13 laps. So Jay Kelly getting some brand new ones with about 15 laps to go. Oh, he's on used mediums. My apologies. He's on 10 lap old mediums already. That is unfortunate call, I think, by his pit crew. I don't imagine they were supposed to put those tires on. Those won't last very long, unfortunately, but we'll see how the Aston Martin of Jake Kelly does. We've got faith in him. Alright, as the grid is bunched up here before the start of Sector 2. Race control confirms the safety car is in this lap, so Owen Wilson will set the pace from here on out. Build a bit of a buffer between him and the safety car. As you can see, everybody's swerving back and forth, trying to get heat in those tires. Get ready for some more craziness into turn 1 here. We'll hop on board with Owen Wilson. Here he goes, trying to get a jump on Hash. Hash not too far behind. Nice little single file line down into turn 1. Everybody getting through there cleanly so far. Unholy Red Eye pulling off the side of the track there for some reason. Dropping all the way down the grid. I don't know if he had some sort of issue or what happened to the AlphaTauri, but unfortunately he lost quite a few positions. Looks like Fox having Jake Kelly battling him here. Jake Kelly trying to unlap himself. One by one. Oh, and VSR Clark. Some contact there, unfortunately. In turn 13. And he's missing an end plate on the Alfa Romeo. An unscheduled pit stop, unfortunately, on lap 16. LFR Psycho getting overtaken by his teammate Smith Pell. Oh, and gets in the way of Hightower there, and Hightower spins. He'll lose a couple positions. Timing board issues again, unfortunately. Unholy Red Eye with a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Owen Wilson under pressure from Hash here into the fast section. Everyone getting through there cleanly. Kind of watch here just to make sure everybody gets through there. Oh no, Nero missing his whole front wing on the Alpine. Five-second penalty for corner cutting on Nero. Hightower a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Drive-through for Hightower. We've got some grief here, I think. Unless Hightower cut a corner and I missed it. DRS is enabled. Got some timing board grief, I I think. Some major technical difficulties here. My apologies, folks. We've got a spun Alfa Romeo. That is the car of S.S. Smith. And I'm thinking he's missing a front wing, if I had to guess. He is... Well, actually the front of his car is intact, so he may be okay. Hash with a 3-second time penalty for... Oh no, and Owen Wilson loses it! Oh, and a huge crash! Oh, and another one! Oh, cars everywhere. Hash, Owen Wilson, Labatt. I think a car attempted to spin around and collected another one with it. We have a full course safety cars. We've got 3 cars completely destroyed on track there. Labatt's, Hash, and Owen Wilson all battling at the front there. I think that was a major mistake by one of the drivers, at least, with an unsafe re-entry to the track. So this will definitely change up the pit stop strategy. A few cars in the pits now. I do think we still have a couple lapped cars, but it's hard to say how this will pan out once the grid catches back up to each other. Five drivers out of the Australian Grand Prix here, about 2/3 of the way through. Alright, tons of cars coming into the pits now. I imagine softs are going to be the way to go. Front wing change for Fox and the Mercedes. Mopawa, Guitar Maniac, and Detail opting to stay out. Hemi, Smith, Pell, LFR behind them on brand new softs. Fox with a brand new set of mediums. VSR Clark on some fresh hards. And softs all the way through back to Flavius on mediums and Jay Kelly on the softs. I don't know. Oh no, VSR Clark spun in the exit of turn 2 and he is also out of the race. I unfortunately missed the onboard there. An unfortunate spin under a safety car. Everyone really pushing to catch back up here. 9 laps remaining in the Australian Grand Prix. Six drivers retired so far. Absolute pandemonium, to say the least. Oh yeah, unfortunately Flavius and Jay Kelly caught in the middle of the grid, unable to unlap themselves, which I believe would be possible in real F1, but I could be wrong. Just some unfortunate coding potentially, I guess. So they'll be stuck in the middle in their positions. I imagine race control will bring the car in this lap, but it's hard to say. As I say that, race control confirms the safety car is in this lap. Mo Powa currently leading on lap 21 here, getting some heat into those mediums, followed closely by Guitar Maniac and Detail. Once again, check on the tires. Mediums for the top three, and softs, fresh softs for the three behind them. While the leading three cars do have good pace, we've seen in the past, I don't know if it's going to match or be able to stand up to the pace of the three behind them on brand new soft tires. So this should be an interesting one. Here we go, Mo Powa getting a good restart, a good jump on Guitar Maniac. He's already out to a 1 second lead. Hemi right in the gearbox of Detail here. Detail backs out and lets Hemi by. We've got a spun Mercedes that is, oh, an absolute chaos in turn 3 again. Oh, a huge crash. Collecting 3 more cars. Oh, wow. That was a big one. We're still green. It was too soon after the safety car restart. And those magic marshals will clean those cars up off the track before the crew comes back around again. We're 3 drivers short again. SZS, Smith, Fox, and Hightower out of the race. So that leaves us with 10 drivers left. Hemi setting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:24.507 on those brand new soft tires. Right beside Mo Powa. DRS is not enabled yet, and he'll go around the outside. Oh no! Oh, and Hemi had the lead, but got some contact from the McLaren, getting him into the wall, and we have another safety car. His teammate and Holy Red Eye in the pits. Majorly unfortunate for Hemi, as he was on pace to potentially win this Grand Prix. Mo Powa missing the front end of his McLaren. Guitar Maniac taking over the lead of the race here. I have a feeling he's trying to get some pace in here and potentially get to the pits. He's got a 4-second lead on Mo Powa, which he does have to pit. I feel like Guitar Maniac's trying to get into the pits for some softs. He's got to back off to correct that delta. And he's staying out. 10 lap old mediums, got 7 laps to go. Those are going to be some worn out tires. Mo Powa in the pits. He'll be the only driver to pit so far. Definitely got some drivers chatting to the stewards about this chaotic race. Unfortunately, a ton of retirements. Only 9 drivers remain. It's going to be a shootout to the end, that is for sure. Guitar Maniac currently leading on 11-lap-old mediums, Detail on 12-lap-old mediums, and some decently fresh softs behind them. Unholy Red Eye and Mo Powa both on practically new softs. And there'll be probably 4 laps to go, roughly. 4 or 5 laps remaining after the safety car restart. This has been a crazy one, to say the least. Jake Kelly and Flavius, like I said, mixed up, unfortunately, in that lapped kind of debacle, I guess, so to speak. Jake Kelly and Flavius will be in their own battle here. So it looks like the safety car is in this lap. Guitar Maniac setting the pace, backing up the grid a little bit. We got 9 drivers left, 5. I guess we'll have 4 laps of racing once they cross the line. It's going to be an absolute shootout to the end. Mediums at the front, softs for the 7 drivers behind them. And away we go, we're racing again. We're green here in Albert Park for the Australian Grand Prix. Guitar Maniac getting a good jump. Oh, and Smith Pell is going down the inside of his teammate. Or sorry, that's Detail. He passes the Aston Martin with those fresher tires. Looks like Mo Pow is trying to go around the outside of Niru, now down the inside. Niru gets the better jump, bit of a switchback. We're going to stick on board the McLaren here, almost into the back of the Alpine. Unholy Red Eye pushing him. Niru down the inside of LFR Psycho. Oh, and there was some contact there, I think. Oh, Mo Powa and Niru both getting into each other. Oh, just some absolute craziness here today. Unholy Red Eye with a 3-second time penalty. Might as well check out some penalties as well. 5 seconds for the leader and 6 seconds for the cars in 5th and 6th. Guitar Maniac's going to need a 5-second gap to take the win on this race. Let's see what he can do in 3 laps. Only 6/10 up on Smith Pell at the moment. Smith Pell pushing him hard on those fresh softs. Getting that gap up to 9/10 now. Mo Powell only 6/10 back of LFR Psycho. Only 9 drivers remain here. Mo Powell is really pushing the Red Bull. No DRS just yet. LFR Psycho getting a little squirrely on the exit of turn 12 there. I imagine DRS will be enabled momentarily, as Mo Powell had a look down the inside but wasn't going to go for it. DRS is enabled. Using up some ERS. Drag race down into turn 1 here, and Unholy Red Eye with the fastest lap. Oh, and some contact between the Red Bull and the McLaren. Unholy Red Eye getting around LFR Psycho. Guitar Maniac with a 1.2 second gap on Smith Pell so far. But it's not 5 seconds. So we're going to be seeing some switch ups, I think, on the podium here. Everyone getting through turn 11 and 12 fine. Oh no, in detail. Oh no, that must have been Jay Kelly, sorry. Oh, and Mo Powell almost getting into the back of detail there. That was super close. Good evasive maneuver by the McLaren. But Unholy Red Eye closing in on it. We are on the final lap here of the Australian Grand Prix. Guitar Maniac may only drop 1 position here. Based on the gaps. Smith Pell is trying to hunt him down, but can't quite close that gap up. Mind you, he's just got to stay within 5 seconds to take the win here. Couple close gaps here in P3 to 5. Mo Powell almost losing it there. LFR Psycho with a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Jake Kelly right on the gearbox of his teammate here. Mo Powell trying to catch him. Is he going to be able to catch detail before the line? He does have penalties though, so it's not going to matter. The Aston Martin's coming across the line. Guitar Maniac will lose out on the win. Smith Pell will gain the win here of the Australian Grand Prix due to penalties. Detail will take 3rd. Mo Power in 4th. 5th goes to the AlphaTauri of Unholy Red Eye. 6th is LFR Psycho. Niru will come home in P7. Jay Kelly in P8. And the McLaren, last but not least, P9 for Flavius. And that'll do it, folks, for the absolute craziness here. Down under. Driver of the day, Detail in the Aston Martin. Your third place driver, Smith Pell, taking his top step of the podium. We got an all-Canadian podium. The Red Bull driver hosting the trophy with a P2 for Ferrari and a P3 for Aston Martin. Congratulations to those drivers. Your winners, Smith Pell for Red Bull. P2 going to Guitar Maniac and Detail in P3. P4 goes to Mo Powa. P5 on Holy Red Eye in the AlphaTauri, and also gets the fastest lap, so a good extra point for the sister team to Red Bull. P6 goes to LFR Psycho. P7 Niru. P8 Jay Kelly, and P9 McLaren of Flavius. And unfortunately, a plagued grid of DNFs. Hemi, SZS Smith, Fox, Hightower, VSR Clark, Owen Wilson, Hash, Labatt's, Stewart, and Silent Banshee. All DNFing here. Some pretty crazy accidents, unfortunately. But that, unfortunately, is racing. We did have a bit of a plagued lobby. Some crazy pit stops and things like that, but I guess we'll see what comes of that. I'll see if I can't get the podium drivers in here. Alright, looks like we're joined by our third place driver here, Detail. Congratulations on the podium. Thank you. Fantastic race.
Yeah, I don't know. I was backwards twice, so that race I did not expect to be like the top three of the stretch. So then I just held on, and then Cowboy went to turn one. Tried to
He,
yeah, I kept the speed, and then I just held it from there.
yeah, I did happen to be on board with Cowboy, and I definitely clinched my teeth for a second there. I thought for sure your rear wing was going to be gone.
Oh yeah, I did too. I was looking, I was like, oh shit, that's
He was coming in hot, and luckily managed to steer left of it and head off into the grass, but
yeah, because I was in trouble. He got, like, if he made it through that chicane behind the next corner, I think. But then it's like, he has some time.
yeah, no, he did have penalties regardless, so you were okay there. But I mean, a good thing he didn't hit you, because you would have been, yeah, I don't know if he would have been able to recover from that, but
No, not that late.
devastating. But a P3 nonetheless, so that's fantastic. I mean, amidst the chaos, there was some insane crashes. I think I managed to catch the final one, or at least the most of the aftermath on that one. It was absolute insanity. There was a car up in the air, and Absolute pandemonium. Well, thanks for joining us once again. Congrats on P3. Some good points for Aston Martin, and
Yeah, man.
fantastic. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Take care. Thanks.
You too. That was Detail, your third place driver here in the Australian Grand Prix. We're also joined by the P2 driver in the Ferrari. That is Guitar Maniac. Congrats on the P2.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna get that penalty removed.
Well, if you do, then that's a win for sure.
Yeah, like the game gave me a penalty. Like I don't know if you were on board with me when all those cars started when they were all crashing into each other, and I managed to weave my way right through it, and I didn't touch anybody, but it still gave me a penalty for hitting Labatt's, it said, and I swear to God I didn't touch anybody.
Oh, okay, that makes a whole lot of sense, because there was a pile of penalties that came kind of one after another there.
Oh
obviously
man,
in that time frame. So
I was on my game there, man. I don't know how I didn't touch anybody. There was like 4 cars that spun right in front of me, and I managed to weave my way through all of them, man. I don't know.
that would have been a bit of an adrenaline rush, that's for sure.
Oh man, it was crazy. And then I'm not sure what happened with Hemi and Mopowa there in front of me. But I mean, obviously Hemi was battling because he was on the softer tires, and he was trying to pass Mopowa probably or something like that. And
yeah, he did manage to get by him into turn 3 there, but coming about halfway through from turn 3 to turn 4, I don't know if he went a little too far to the right or if Mopowa went too far left, but he was his rear tire was in line with his wing there, and it caught the front of Mopowa and just spun him into the wall. So
yeah, I managed to get ahead of Mopowa there somehow.
Yeah, which definitely helped for sure. Well, that's some solid points for Ferrari. That's that's a big gain. I forgot where you guys were in the standings, but
oh well, see, it was just me today, just me racing.
That is true. Yeah, one car.
So I mean, I'll take the points for sure. But like, I thought my race was over at the beginning. I was in P2 behind Owen, and I forget what turn I was coming out of, but it was a fast right-hander, and I managed to get a better exit than Owen did, and I was behind him trying to get a tow, and I wasn't paying attention to how close the wall was. And I was like right behind him, and he was like, I don't know how he missed the wall, but I managed to hit it with my tire, and it spun around, and I was like, oh my God, the race is over now. So I put the hards on, and then luckily there was a safety car, and I put the mediums back on.
And stretched those till the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some good pace at the end. I thought for sure those tires would have completely fell off and ruined your pace. I mean, with a bunch of the guys pitting at the end there for softs, but
I was thinking Smith Pell was going to pass me, and I'm hoping that he just didn't decide not to because of my penalty.
No, I figured it was coming off.
Yeah.
I had a feeling. Well, a lot of those 5 seconds, if it was speeding in the pit lane, then there was nothing you can do. But I know that when you're under that severe collision one, you get it all the time for whatever reason. So, and those are the only real 2 ways you can get 5-second penalties. So I figured there was a decent chance. So I was trying to pass you. My tires ended up dying.
Oh man, I thought you backed off, dude. I was like, I saw you, and then I was like destroying my ERS near the end there.
Well, I had an idea that I would wait the lap out, and because I passed detail right away, and then I had an idea that I would wait the lap out until DRS came in, and then I was about a second and a half, and then I slid my rears like twice, and then from then on I couldn't get them back, and yeah.
Oh man.
Plus I had pitted like 5 laps earlier under the soft, so it wasn't like they were like fresh. Anyway.
I kind of thought you were waiting for DRS. That's why I was trying to keep you past a second.
Well, you pretty much did. I only got it a couple times, so it was I mean, unfortunate for me, but I wasn't backing off. I thought that there was a good chance that 5 seconds was going to come off. If it was a 3-second penalty, I would have probably just sat behind you.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are usually more slam dunk, but
yeah. Well, congrats, man.
I'll take it. I'll take it because I was like last after the first lap, so I'll take it.
Me too. Or second lap or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, at some point.
Yeah, I think so. I lost it like right off the start, and I hit somebody else. I'm not sure who I ended up hitting, but I had no front wing for the whole first lap.
Man.
Yeah, I didn't catch it, but I definitely remember switching to you and seeing that you had no front of your car. So.
Man, I'm gonna watch the stream after. Thanks, Jeep.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks for joining us, fella.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
You as well. That was Guitar Maniac, the Ferrari driver. Provisional P2, possibly P1. But for now, we'll go to the race winner, the Red Bull driver, Smith Pell. Congrats on either or, a podium nonetheless.
Yeah, thanks. I would have taken a top 6 or 7 at the start of the race. So, no, it was nice and coming through, just staying out of all the shit that ended up happening through the race. And I thought my pace was pretty good too, because I was catching guys even after the first pit stops. I had pitted on lap 2, and I had still put a bunch of people behind me after they made their stops. So I knew my pace wasn't too bad. And then just trying to pick my way through a little bit, and watching some of the shit that happened in front, and seeing some of the penalties that some of the guys had. I mean, shit, all of a sudden it felt like I was like P4 with no penalties, and I seen Cowboy had 11 seconds, and blah 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 blah, and I thought, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, keeping the penalties off obviously is a huge help. The majority of the guys had penalties at the end there, but
yeah, especially with safety cars, right? Like, that's the worst, is when you have penalties and then all of a sudden the safety car comes in, because you can end up finishing top 3 and end up in the bottom 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, because you have 3, 6, whatever seconds of penalties, and the field's so tight. So
you got no chance to make that gap up.
Exactly.
Well, your tires managed to at least stay half decent for the end of the race, anyways.
Yeah, they were. They just weren't good enough to. You get into some of like the sector 3 there. It's hard to follow in a sense, right? So if your tires aren't grippy, if you're not getting enough grip, you just can't get close enough for that big straight. And really, not that many other great places to pass on that track. So, and credit to Guitar. I mean, he had really good pace the whole time anyway. So it wasn't like I should have been catching him. He had good enough pace to outrun me anyway.
Yeah, most definitely, and he hung on to with those mediums. Like I said, I thought for sure they were going to be completely destroyed, and with that safety car restart, he would lose some serious time, but he managed. Yeah,
I almost felt better if we wouldn't have gotten that second or the last safety car, because I thought without. I don't know how exactly old his were, but I think they were from the safety car before when he pitted. And I thought that I would have been able to, because he stayed out if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he
did. I think I would have been able to get him then, because he would have had to put in another 3 hard laps. But I mean, mine were still dying by the end. So, and by dying, I mean they just enough pace to fall off to where they're good. They're probably the same as the mediums. So.
Right, I'm pretty sure his tires were in that 16 to 17 lap range at the end of the race.
Yeah,
so,
and mine would have been 8 or 9 on soft, so it's probably realistically fairly similar in terms of their performance at that point. And again, if I had stuck in the DRS and probably hadn't overheated my tires early, maybe I would have got it run. But I also don't know what wings he was using. Like I was running like 9.9, so I didn't have a ton of top speed. So there was a decent chance that I wasn't going to pass him anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, congrats again on the podium. Some
Thank you
good
very
points
much.
for Red Bull, and good to see you up there again.
Yeah, and it's good to see Psycho with a good finish in P6, I think it was. So,
Yeah,
we needed that.
Points. Certainly.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for joining,
Thanks again.
fella. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
You as well. All right, that was Smith Pell, the Red Bull driver. Provisional race win. So good points for Red Bull, Aston Martin, and Ferrari today. Next week, we are in the desert of Bahrain. So join us for that Grand Prix. Same time, same place. See you later, everybody.